We're going to look at the blood pressure changes as blood passes from one kind of blood vessel to the other. So on the y-axis we have the blood pressure, and on the x-axis we have the different blood vessels. So we start off with the highest blood pressure in the beginning of the journey of blood as it leaves the heart, as a response to the contraction of the left ventricle, which has a thick muscular layer, and that's why it contracts very hard. So we're talking about the aorta or the pulmonary artery. This is where the blood leaves the heart for the first time. It has the highest blood pressure, especially in the systole of the left ventricle. And in the diastole, we have a lower blood pressure. However, it is still very, very high, because here the recoil of the elastic fibers found in these arteries as a response to the systole is going to retain a lot of blood pressure. Then we branch into arteries. We see that the blood pressure is decreasing because we are moving further away from the heart. We are losing that effect of pressure from the contraction of the left ventricle. In the arterioles, which are even thinner branches of arteries, we have a very heavy decrease in blood pressure. Then we reach the capillaries, where we still have an even lower amount of blood pressure. This is because the capillaries are very, very thin. If you remember, the red blood cells travel in a single file in capillaries. And also, the inner walls of capillaries provide a lot of friction with the blood, which will slow the blood down. If you remember, arteries and veins have a smooth inner lining to reduce this friction, because we need high speeds to flow inside the arteries and the veins. However, because we need slow speeds in the veins in order to maximize the efficiency of diffusion, we have the lining that actually provides friction. So this also contributes to the lowering of the blood pressure, in addition to the thinness of capillaries. And then we reach the venules and the veins, which have the lowest blood pressure, because here we are at the end of the journey. We're going back to the heart, and the further we move from the heart, the lower the blood pressure. Luckily, veins have adaptations that allow blood to still move inside of them, even with this low of a blood pressure, like the valves that prevent backflow, as well as their situation between large muscles. So the contraction of these muscles will still provide some movement in the correct flow of blood.